With Yardie, it took just about 8 or 9 months. It's about 1,500 hours to train him for patrol work, which is tracking, building searches, article searches, apprehension work, obedience, which is the foundation of everything. So that's about 1,500 hours. And there's maintenance training that goes along with that, 8 hours every week, just for that. And then when you get into drugs, that's another 400 to 500 hours of training. So it's a huge dedication, it's a huge commitment by the police department and community. And fortunate enough, our return on investment was substantial.
Police department, let me see here.
We would not run this department without a canine. Drugs are just going off the scale in this area. So we need a dog that's trained not only in patrol tactics, but also in drug searches.
Police department, you're under arrest. Let me see your hands. I'll send the dog. Good bite. I'll send the dog. Let me see it. Yardie, get him.
Foremost, he's a locating tool. We utilize him to locate, whether it be burglary suspect, or a bad guy running away, or fleeing a crime scene.
That's it. Stop fighting the dog.
Or a lost youngster, or narcotics. That's his assignment, is to locate these things. He has been extremely successful. I've been very fortunate to have such a successful dog. His accomplishments, the return on investment for the town, well, he's paid for himself automatically. I think when you find that first lost child crying in the woods, hugging a tree, and the dog goes up to him, you can't put a price on that. I remember we were off duty. I was home, and my neighbor comes running into the house, literally running into the house, screaming and yelling that her child was missing. The daughter, little girl, probably 4 years old at the time, walked away from the house. So I immediately called Portland PD for help, and I went down with Yardie, put him up on a harness system. We started a track from the rear of the house, which was very contaminated, so they had a lot of kids, and that was the last place they saw her. And it was cold, and she's in a panic. I think whoever has had children at some point have lost sight of them for any period of time. That feeling that you get, I know I went through that once before, it's awful. And so I'm trying to keep my emotion out of it and focus on the task at hand. We started tracking through the woods, and I just held on to the leash. I don't know who he was tracking, but we were tracking. And about a half mile in, just a little over half a mile, we located the 2 children. And they were close to the river's edge. And I was able to bring them out. That was a great feeling. He has found 4 children, probably about 40 bad guys, and numerous drugs, and recovered in drug seizure money about $15,000. So is the monetary reimbursement through the federal government on that.
What do you got? Show me. Right there? That a boy.
But beyond all those numbers, there is no member of this department that's more of an ambassador than the police dog. People do not want to see me. As much as I think they do, they really don't. They want to see Yardie. And no matter where I go, the first words out of their mouth is, "Where's the dog?" So with over 80 public relation events that we have done in our career, he has been the biggest ambassador for not only the police department, but for the town of Falmouth.
You want to go get the bad guy? You want to go get him? Okay. All right.
Once that harness goes on him,
yeah,
I give him the command, his nose will go down. Suk. Now we have a tool that increases that security for the residents. That if someone is victimized and they take off running, officers are trained to secure the scene and wait for the canine team to come in, which would be generally him and I. And now we're able to track that suspect leaving the house, and chances are if they're hunkered down, we're going to find them.
We received a call one afternoon about a suspicious vehicle in a driveway. One of our officers was actually going home off duty and saw it. We dispatched patrol units. The patrol officer became involved in a high-speed chase with the vehicle. These 2 individuals had just burglarized the home. They pulled off the road on Gray Road and ran from the vehicle. The officer chased them on foot and was able to apprehend them off in the woods, made 2 arrests. What we found out in talking to the victims was that not only the TV and some other electronic equipment, she was missing some jewelry and some heirloom jewelry that was very important to her and her family. The area where the suspects ran was heavily grassed, and ultimately they went out into the woods where the officer apprehended them. There was a belief that they might have thrown the jewelry into the grass. We called Yardie in, and he went over to the grass, and within about 15 minutes I watched him find all the jewelry in the grass. And the victim was just ecstatic that, you know, TV can be replaced, but the jewelry meant a lot to her.
Nicely done. People deserve that from their police department. They deserve the best product that we can put forth. I think the Falmouth Police Department, I think there's no better department around that provides this level of service and the tools to do that. And he's one of those tools. Now, with all the tools that police officers carry, this is the only tool that we can take back. Obviously, I don't want the dog to hurt someone who is surrendering. And what the dog will do is, he will not bite the decoy, but he'll go in what's called the bark and guard. So he'll go right up to the decoy and start barking at the decoy and let him know, hey, if you take off, I'm going to take you down.
Get him, Yardie. Yardie! No! Heel! Heel! Revere! Revere! Good boy. Good Revere.
What Yardie has done for us is just incredible over the last 8 years. And, you know, he doesn't get paid, he doesn't get retirement, and he costs us very little money.
Good boy. Down. Yeah.
We're going to be hard pressed to find a dog that's the equal of Yardie, but we are going to do that. We'll be advertising the position in-house in the coming months, and Lieutenant Kilbride is going to be in charge of finding the right officer, assisting that new officer in finding the right canine for us.
What we're doing here is escorting the prisoner back to the car. The dog's watching the prisoner, he's watching my back.
John went out, just really did a great job finding a terrific canine for us. And, you know, I've been proven wrong, because I told John at the time that I was very hesitant to do this and he'd have to show me. And he has shown me over the last 8 years. He has done a terrific job with that animal. John has now moved up in the ranks, was promoted to sergeant, but was allowed to keep Yardie as a working dog because he was a patrol sergeant. He then was promoted to lieutenant, so he's an administrator, and that's why we're here today, that Yardie has retired and will be with John for the rest of his life.
He's enjoying retirement. He misses the job. We're expanding our operations in the police department on a elderly abuse program. And they have been victimized to a certain degree at certain levels, and we need to do a better job, and one, educating them into addressing it. And I think Yardie would do a great job when you enter a room and they see the dog and they can pat the dog, and then you start in with your message of what you want to do to help them. So I'm not ready to put him away. I'm ready to retire him from this function, but yet to bring him out in another capacity.